Folks, the 53-man roster is set in its entirety. We are days away from ending speculation season and actually getting some real damn football. Well, I thought this was an awesome opportunity where I walk you through game by game of the Buffalo Bills' final record prediction in 2024. Now, folks, I do want to thank each and every single one of you because yesterday I surpassed 25,000 subscribers. I genuinely appreciate all of you that tune into each and every single video, and we are going to continue to move this train forward. If you can do me a favor and you're watching and you haven't subscribed already, certainly consider doing so. Our goal is 50,000 subscribers before the end of the season, and then also hit that bell notification, and more importantly, smash that like button. So hopping right into it, folks, week one is literally just a little over a week away, and we are going to be facing off against the Arizona Cardinals. Spoiler alert, I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game handedly. When I look at the Arizona Cardinals, there's a couple of red flags from a Cardinals fan perspective. They virtually have zero pass rush whatsoever. If the Buffalo Bills offensive line takes a page out of last year's book in 2023, I have a feeling that we dominate the trenches on both sides of the ball. Obviously, Kyler Murray is going to be a threat with his ability to extend plays, his rushing potential, but at the end of the day, this guy is removed from the game, has not participated once in the preseason, and I certainly think that there's going to be some rust there, and it also does not help that the two key pieces as far as offensive weapons for the Cardinals are going to be a rookie in Marvin Harrison Jr., who also has not had a lot of work, even dating back to the damn combine, right through OTAs, preseason, etc. So I see the Buffalo Bills handedly beating the Arizona Cardinals. So next up, I have the Buffalo Bills going to Hard Rock Stadium to face off against the Miami Dolphins, Week 2 Thursday Night Football. I'm certainly looking forward to this game, as I do each and every single year during the Miami matchups. And folks, this is not me trolling. It has nothing to do with the fact that we absolutely dominate this team, and we have been dominating this team since Josh Allen took over at quarterback just a couple of years ago. But I mean, I look at this matchup all in all. This Miami Dolphins football team struggles tremendously when it comes into the trenches. You have no idea who their offensive line starters are going to be. They are going to have a very difficult time in protecting Tua. On the opposite end of the spectrum, all of their star pass rushers are either on the PUP list or a lot of rookies and unproven names. Their run defense is an absolute liability. In this game, I see James Cook, Ray Davis really being able to eat, really being able to control time of possession, and at the end of the day, the only way the Dolphins will be able to win is as if they put the game on Tua's shoulders, which unfortunately he has not proven that he is able to do. I see the Miami Dolphins doing what they typically do, start off hot at the beginning of the season, but I really like the Buffalo Bills in this game. I honestly think it's going to be by like 2 scores. So next up, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I understand that all of us are frustrated from the last couple of matchups we have had with this organization. I'm sure the 9-6 victory for the Jags just 2 years ago still haunts our dreams, and then obviously we had the London game where we were playing on literal concrete, where we ended up losing Daquan Jones and Matt Milano the exact same game. Jacksonville is certainly a thorn in our side. We have a hard time taking care of this organization. However, I will say it's very nice that the Buffalo Bills are going to be at home. This is our first home game against them in quite some time. So I see the Buffalo Bills being able to leverage that home field advantage since we are virtually unbeatable at home. And I have the Buffalo Bills taking this home. A couple of questions in their secondary. I think this is going to be more of a Josh Allen pass sort of game. Look for Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid to absolutely eat. Buffalo Bills 3-0. So now next up we have the Baltimore Ravens, and folks, I'm going to be honest with you, I do have us losing this game, but listen, I would be completely fine if we ended up coming out on top with the dub here. This Baltimore Ravens team, in my opinion, although this is not a popular take whatsoever, they lost quite a few players on their offensive line. 3 of their starters are completely gone. They lost their defensive coordinator to a head coaching role over in Seattle, and I love Derrick Henry. He's going to go down as an all-time great. However, if your complete identity as an offense is to pound the damn rock with your mobile quarterback and your running game, this is not the offensive line to do that, folks. Derrick Henry last year slowly but surely started showing regression in his overall yards per carry on average. Now you're putting him against an offensive line that is likely going to be the same, not unless some of these younger players and new pieces can really step up, but I think that is going to be a long shot for that matter. But that defense is still absolutely dirty. I have the Baltimore Ravens coming out on top. It's going to be very difficult to beat them at home. But again, I will be more than happy to say that I was wrong. Now, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. This is going to be the Stephon Diggs revenge game. It's going to be in Houston. Hype is going to be all around the planet. I am still shocked that this game is slated for a 1 o'clock start time. This has literally Sunday Night Football written all over it, but is what it is. Surprisingly enough, I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game. As much respect as I have for CJ Stroud, as much respect as I have for their offense, all of their new weapons that they've ended up surrounding this young QB with, I have a feeling that the defensive disadvantages are going to absolutely bite them in the ass. Their secondary has a lot of question marks, and their run defense, come on. Last year, we saw the Indianapolis Colts pound the rock on this team for, I think it was like 200 plus yards. This is going to be one of those games where the Buffalo Bills attempt to dominate time of possession, where they end up handing the rock off to James Cook, Ray Davis. Josh Allen is also going to be able to make some plays here and there. I don't trust their linebackers. I think the Buffalo Bills edge this one out and get back into the win column. Now, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, Monday Night Football. I will be at this game, fun fact. We are actually holding a Roundtable Sports event. That is right, folks. We are giving you tickets to the game, a tailgate, an all-inclusive tailgates with open bar and food, and even field access before the game. If you're interested in those tickets, please send me a DM over at X. I will send you the link specifically. I was there last year during this Monday night matchup on week 1. It was wildly frustrating. I was so upset that we ended up losing that game. And folks, I just got to call a spade here. We have a very difficult time competing against the New York Jets at MetLife. So the defense continuously has Josh Allen and this offense's number. Pass rush is nothing to sleep on. I see the offense struggling tremendously against this New York Jets team at MetLife going into it. I see it being close, but unfortunately, again, I see the Buffalo Bills dropping to the New York Jets. Now, next up is the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. The Titans are being welcomed into Highmark, and although that I have been quoted as saying that the Titans are sneaky loaded, I really like what Brian Callahan was able to put together on this first inaugural year as the head coach. I still see the Buffalo Bills winning this game. I just think that the Tennessee Titans, while I think they're going to shock quite a few people, I just see so many different opportunities, especially with the Buffalo Bills being at home right here. I think that they can get got as far as run defense. And then I also think that Sean McDermott has a great track record of being able to plan against younger quarterbacks. Will Levis, while I have high hopes that he takes a step in the right direction, I don't think it's going to be against the Buffalo Bills. However, I do just want to put out a trigger warning, if you will. This game is going to be close, and I think that this is going to come down to the absolute last minute. They have L'Jarius Sneed, they have Awuzie, they have a great safety tandem. They just ended up picking up Ernest Jones. You know, you still have Jeffrey Simmons at the defensive line. They have Tavondre Sweat. This game's going to be closer than people want to give us credit for, but I think that we end up coming out on top. Now, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be in Seattle. And folks, we all know that the Buffalo Bills end up dropping an absolute heartbreaker, a game that we have no business losing, but lo and behold, we end up losing. This is the game where, unfortunately, I just see it happening. I don't know why. I really don't have a lot of analysis behind this outside of the fact that each and every single year we have an absolute stinker. And I have a feeling that after having to be able to take the long road trip, I just think that we are at a travel disadvantage. They still have a great wide receiver trio. I think Geno Smith is good for at least 3 to 4 wow games, and then he transitions back to mid for the following year. I think it's going to be really hype, and I think that we're not going to be able to pull it off, and all of Bills Mafia is going to be freaking out. We're going to be like, oh my God, Dan, what are we doing? But hold on. it gets a lot better. Now, next up, we have the Miami Dolphins at home. Again, I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills to win this game for the exact same reasons that I did for week 2, but with the additional benefit of being in Highmark Stadium. I will say that the NFL did both the Bills and the Dolphins a tremendous favor this year because we have a night game in Miami, so we don't need to worry about the 130-degree sideline. And Miami isn't going to have to deal with us in December. But we all know that Buffalo is unpredictable at that time of the year. For all we know, it could be a blizzard at that point. But I have the Buffalo Bills still taking care of business. I'm going to pick the Bills over the Dolphins each and every single time until proven otherwise. They can't beat us. Now, next up, I have the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts. We are traveling to Indianapolis right on November 10th, okay? I hope that Anthony Richardson can take the next step. But I will tell you this about this specific quarterback. He's essentially entering in his rookie year again. He only had 4 games last year, showed struggles right in the preseason. I think that he'll show a bit of an improvement. I have a lot of faith in Shane Steichen. I think he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. Jonathan Taylor is certainly going to be an issue for us, but a lot of questions with the Colts secondary at this point. I think Josh Allen ends up rising to the occasion. He absolutely eats. And then it's going to have to turn out for the Indianapolis Colts to rely on Anthony Richardson to beat the Buffalo Bills with his arm. And I don't think that they're going to have time to make the run game with Jonathan Taylor a huge focal point based off of all of the secondary weaknesses. Have the Buffalo Bills coming out on top here. Now, next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to be coming into Buffalo. And folks, I have to say, we all know that we dominate the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. And as much as I want to say that we are lose this game, and then next time we play them in the playoffs, we're finally going to get our revenge. But I really like where the Buffalo Bills stand here. Highmark is going to have a lot of energy. Everyone has that bad taste in their mouth where the Kansas City Chiefs are coming once again right into the stadium. I think we take care of business against the Chiefs, and then for the love of God, can we pull it off twice in the playoffs? So next up, San Francisco 49ers, December 1st. Now, there's so many question marks of what the San Francisco 49ers are going to look like this year. There's still a lot of questions about the Brandon Ayuk situation, still a lot of questions about Trent Williams. However, I will say that both of them likely will be back on this team, and all of their contract disputes will be well in the past resolved by the time that they end up coming to Buffalo. I like the Buffalo Bills at home with the travel advantage at this point playing this team. I love the San Francisco 49ers, but they're certainly very old and they are injury prone with several different starters and star players that regularly don't play a full season. Debo, same thing with Brandon Ayuk, same thing with Christian McCaffrey, same thing with Trent Williams. And if you look at Brock Purdy's overall statistics, even if one of those players is out, he is completely a different quarterback. So, in my opinion, I see the Buffalo Bills also taking care of business against the San Francisco 49ers. Things in Buffalo are great. Next up is going to be the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. Folks, spoiler alert, I do have us losing this game. And look, I know that all of us are looking at the LA Rams right now. All of us are scratching our heads as into why the hell would they trade Ernest Jones away? Now they have nobody on the defense. Their literal star player on defense right now with Aaron Donald retiring is Tre'Davious White. All right, and that guy also hasn't proven that he can stay healthy late into the season by itself. A lot of defensive issues. Seriously, I could see this being an absolute shootout, but what the LA Rams do have is a high-powered offense. Matthew Stafford is one of the most slept-on QBs on earth. Puka Nacua, still have Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, who is one of the best running backs in the game. This is going to be one of those damn shootouts that I would say 3 out of the 10 top plays on ESPN's top 10 plays will be from this game, but I just see somehow Matthew Stafford being able to outduel Josh Allen. So I have a loss. Now, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions going over to Detroit. Things were great in Buffalo for a long time. We went on a hell of a streak, taking care of a lot of teams that we thought that we should. However, now it's the Detroit Lions, and I will tell you that we will lose this game as well. I love what the Detroit Lions were able to consistently put out on the field. They have one of the best offensive coordinators in the game. I see a lot of mismatches with Amon-Ra St. Brown and a lot of our players that are in the secondary at this point. I just see it not going the correct way. As much as I would love to be able to lean on the fact that there are opportunities to take advantage of with their secondary, this Lions team addressed all of those issues during the offseason. So, of course, with getting their lockdown corner in Carlton Davis, and then also end up getting that corner out of Alabama, they really hammered down on their weaknesses, and I give a lot of credit for Detroit, but I see the Buffalo Bills losing to the Detroit Lions. So next game, I have the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. I have the Buffalo Bills handedly taking care of business against this team. This Patriots team is really in a hard reset. This is truly the beginning of the rebuild. They traded away their best defensive player. I see them struggling tremendously when it comes into their offensive line, right into their pass rush. Now that Judon was traded over to the Atlanta Falcons, I see the Buffalo Bills dominating the trenches here, and I see the Buffalo Bills handedly taking care of the New England Patriots. Now, next up, we have the New York Jets round 2. So this time it is going to be in Buffalo. So this is likely going to have playoff implications, seeding implications when it comes into these two teams. I have the Buffalo Bills winning. I mean, we are an entire different team when we play the Jets at home, all right? I think that they are going to be exhausted after an absolute gauntlet that they have toward the middle of the season. I see the Buffalo Bills handling it largely on the backs of our run game, James Cook, Ray Davis, exact same way we handled business last year. And then last but not least, we have the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Who knows? Maybe we're sitting our starters. Even if we were, I still have this being a fat old W. So, folks, there you have it. I have the Buffalo Bills going 12-5 in the 2024 season. Please sound off in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this. I know that I'm going to get a lot of people saying that we took a step back, but if you really look at it, everything that made this team so great, all of those key contributors have returned to the team. And then we also added some nice new pieces. As far as defense is concerned, we did not have Trey White. We did not have Matt Milano for like the last 12 games going into it. Poyer and Hyde haven't played more than 7 games together in the past 2 years combined. So what does that tell you? That the Buffalo Bills know how to play with all of these departures. In fact, we ended up finishing 3rd in points allowed with all of the injuries considering. So I don't see our defense taking a step back whatsoever. And then on offense, we have improved our run game. We have Khalil Shakir going into his 2nd year, which we all know his role is going to be huge. We have the best tight end tandem in the entire league and an incredible offensive line. And most importantly, one of the top quarterbacks in this league. That offensive DNA is absolutely identical to what the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens had last year. And look at that. Both of those teams made the AFC Championship, one of which ended up making the Super Bowl. So I look forward to exceeding everybody's expectations that is preparing for disappointment. And I also look forward to entertaining you guys every single day for the remainder of the season. Again, goal 50,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Please subscribe if you have not already. Smash that like button. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.